Hepinize tekrardan merhabalar arkadaşlar. Kingdom Come Delivarence'ın yeni bölümüne hepiniz hoş geldiniz. Bir önceki bölüme kartlardan ulaşabilirsiniz. Şimdi geçen bölüm Skalit'i yağmalamışlardı. Bayağı büyük bir ordu gelmişti Skalit'e. Orada annemiz babamız... Ne oluyor lan bir... Ha, konuşabiliyor mu? Abla anlatayım da bir şey söylüyordum ya. Çok kötüydü deyip geçebilir miyim? Şöyle söylesem.
It was a fine sunny day until Sigismund came with his army. I saw him sitting there with his red beard and proud posture as he gave the signal to attack.
Oh, no.
İtibar kazandık. İyi lan, iyi iyi. Bence şöyle biraz kendimizi acıtırsak. Karar veremedim ya. O değil de dur ya. Giriş yapacaktım videoya. Abla bir şey sordu. Kingdom Come Delivarence'ın yeni bölümüne hepiniz hoş geldiniz. Bir önceki bölüme kartlardan ulaşabilirsiniz. Geçen bölüm Skalit'e bir saldırı oldu. Büyük bir saldırı. Ailemiz, annemiz, babamız orada öldü. Halkın büyük bir çoğunluğu kaleye kaçmayı başardı. Kaçamayanlar da öldü. Biz de en son buraya doğru kaçarak bunları uyarmaya geldik. En son böyle. Şimdi abla soru sordu, dedi ne oldu diye, itibar kazandı. Bir şey oluyor burada, anlamadım. Şöyle desem.
We all ran towards the castle for shelter, but they were too fast for us. They slaughtered everyone they caught and torched their houses. I barely escaped and they murdered my parents.
God bless you, boy. I'm terribly sorry for your loss.
Eyvallah abla, eyvallah. Tamam, iyi biri olduk. İnsanların gözünde iyi biriyiz. En son bu Sir Robert'la konuşacaktık işte. Şimdi bununla konuşalım. Bu da Sir Davish. Dayı öyle uzaylı hareketler yapmayalım. Neyse. Konuşalım bakalım ne diyor. Eyvallah dayı, eyvallah. Olur. Seni takip mi ediyorum? Ay, ne oluyor lan? Dayı benim kanama, ben ölüyorum galiba ya. Vay be. Babamızın namı büyüktü, demirci, ama zaten belliydi. O kılıç kullanmayı falan biliyordu ben. Evet.
Ah, milady. You are fortunate our good lady Stephanie of Talmberg has graced us with her presence.
My lady, I'm honored.
So this is our brave young man. Welcome, lad. Bojana here will take care of you. No doubt you're tired and hungry.
Indeed. How could he not be, poor soul? After everything he's been through, he must be as hungry as a bear, aren't you, young master? Here you are then.
Eyvallah da teyze, kazan verdin ya.
And a little wine to wash it down.
Thank you, my lady.
When you're done, you can go and rest with the grooms in the outer bailey.
No, that won't do, Sir Robard. After all he's been through, he deserves a proper bed. Let him sleep in a lodge in the courtyard.
Certainly, milady. Young Henry here is overwhelmed by your generosity.
Yes, yes. Thank you, my lady. May God reward
Bizim
you for
karakter
your
biraz
kindness.
öküz.
Eat up now. You're in capable hands, so I'll leave you to it. Good night.
Good night.
Good night, man.
Yalnız var ya, Lady'ye bir kapak atarsak burada yaşarız ha.
When you've done, you can sleep in the bed chamber of the courtyard lodge. And don't forget to take off those filthy boots before getting into bed.
Eyvallah. Karnım, ben doyurayım şimdi ya. Vallahi karakter aç ya. Ha, açlıktan mı oluyor bu? Açlıktan abla.
Eat. Food.
Allah'ım, fırında tavuk falan. Cık. Abla sen bu işi biliyorsun ya. Tam bir ev hanımı zaten. Dur hemen bir gömeyim şuradan, o mercimek çorbası nerede? Dur. Bizim mercimek püresi. Şu canı, yani bozulma ihtimali fazla olanları yiyeyim ki şimdi. Diğerlerinin zaten bozulmasına daha var. Başka neyin bozulmasına daha var abi? Ekmek falan var, onları salla. Fırında tavuğu falan yeni aldık. Yemeyeceğim şimdi. Gerek yok. Sir Radzig'in kılıcı falan var bak. Bunu adama veremedik ya. Baba benim kafam gidiyor. Daha yiyeyim mi yemek ya? Ben anlamadım. Baba dur o zaman. Aç bakayım envanteri. Şuradan bir tavuk ekmek yapalım. Nerede tavuk? Ya bakayım bir tane. Yarasın koçum. Besin %34. Bunu fullleyeceğiz herhalde. Ekmek. Göm bir tane ekmek göm. Besin 51 oldu. Canı az olan. Havuç falan değil. Şu masada peynir bir şeyler. Bence karakterin uykusu geldi. Bu açlık değil. Ulan bayılmam inşallah. Şunları toparlayayım da. Ne olur ne olmaz. Şimdi yatıp kalkınca belki bunlar buradan yok olur. Bir daha alamam. Alayım bak elma falan da var Allah. İyi oldu ha.
I hear you came from Scotland today. It must have been terrible there. How did it happen?
Dayı gel anlatayım sonra gidip yatacağım. Gel sana da söyleyeyim gel. Aynısını söylesem yer mi lan acaba? Çok kötüydü. Şöyle diyelim gene.
It was a fine sunny day until Sigismund came with his army. I saw him sitting there with his red beard and proud posture as he gave the signal to attack.
Oh no.
Herkes yiyor bunu ha. Burada şunu
We all
demiştim.
ran towards the castle for shelter, but they were too fast for us. They slaughtered everyone they caught and torched their houses. I barely escaped and they murdered my parents.
The Lord have
İtibar kazanıyoruz. Güzel oluyor güzel.
sorry. May the Lamb of God comfort you.
Eyvallah dayı beni bir salın da ben bir yatayım karakter bayılacak yoksa birazdan. Beni bir sal. Nereye yatacağım ben şimdi? Müştemilat nerede tam olarak? Dayı bak valla uyudum uyuyacağım. Neresi lan müştemilat dur. İşaret takip edeyim. Oğlum burası surlara gidiyor lan. Dur burası olamaz. Şurası olabilir mi abi? Burası da biraz ahıra benziyor ama. Burası da değil. Lan nerede yatacağım ben? Gidiyor karakter. Dur. Kendine gel. Buralar falan. Burası mı? Aa dur pardon. Burası galiba lan. Ya burası değilse de yat artık birader ya. Ne fark eder? Ne yapıyor şimdi? Uyu. Uyuyalım. Saat ha. Kaç saat uyuyalım baba? Şöyle bir 9-10 saat de uyumayalım canım. Ama şimdi ben öğlen yatıyorum. Sabah 5'te kalkalım ya. Şunlarda neden işaret var? Hiçbir fikrim yok bu arada. 10 saat 10 saat uyunma. Neyse hadi uyuyalım. Uyuyoruz şu an. Ha bak. Takatimiz falan Ne oluyor lan?
Today the patrols will be doubled. Keep your eyes peeled. If you see anything out of the ordinary, report it immediately. Understood? Yes, sir.
Çizmeleri çıkarmamışız. Biz uyuyamadık galiba bizim karakter ya.
Yes?
Biri geldi.
It is I, Henry.
Ulan bu lady işi biliyor ya.
Forgive the intrusion. I didn't wake you, boy, did I?
My lady, no, not at all. But what brings you here at this hour?
I thought you could
Aa
be-
masada şarap vardı lan tüh.
It's just what you need to help you sleep.
Eyvallah.
My lady, thank you. You really shouldn't.
Ulan bu lady adamın eşi de olabilir ha. Ben kızı sandım ama.
I was going to. But to tell you the truth, I couldn't sleep either. I thought of you while saying my prayers. How awful it must have been for you. I came to offer you solace.
Uyusak daha iyi olurdu sanki ya.
Not alone.
Thank you. Thank you kindly.
You're welcome. Now, Henry, I know this is all very new and strange for you,
Abla bak başımızı belaya sokacaksın yapma.
But I want you to feel at home here. You're not to worry about anything except getting better. God knows you've been through a terrible ordeal. I know what it is to be left alone in the world, although your loss is much greater. But with God's help, the pain will ease in time. And it can help to talk about it, if you feel like it.
Ne oluyor lan, karakter gözükmüyor. Anlatayım mı ya derdimizi? Kadın gelmiş, o kadar zahmet etmiş, şarap getirmiş, yiyecek bir şeyler getirmiş. Şimdi kadını kovmayalım, anlatalım.
You might be right, my lady. I'll tell you what happened. It was terrible and unexpected. The day started just like any other. Father sent me into town on some errands.
Karakter görünmüyor. Neyse. Şöyle
I went to
yapalım.
the tavern to buy ale for father. I know it's a job for a groom, but I didn't mind, because my girl Bianca worked there. I courted her a while and we agreed to meet in the evening, but our meeting was never to happen.
Oh dear boy.
When I'd done all the errands, I headed back home.
Ha, öbür tarafta
Promised
oturuyormuşuz lan.
father I'd help him with his work and I was looking forward to it. He was
Ya da
forced to
buglandı,
stay
bilmiyorum.
for Saradzic.
Şöyle
The sword
diyelim.
was taking shape when Saradzic himself came to have a look at it. He praised father's work and said that with his smithing skills, he could easily make a living in Prague or Vienna.
You don't say.
But Sigismund's horde was already on the horizon, ready to attack the town.
Şöyle.
Sigismund's cavalry was composed of Cumans. They're diabolical barbarians from the east with no regard for the rules of warfare, bloodthirsty cutthroats. The very fact Sigismund has them with him shows what a tyrant he is.
Well,
Başarısız
I
mı?
don't know.
And then death descended on Skalitz.
Başarısız olduk, tüh. Hepsini deneyeyim diye şey yaptım da. Şöyle
Father
diyelim.
told me to take shelter
Biraz
in the castle
ajitasyon.
while he went to get mother. She was stranded in the town, surrounded by Sigismund's butchers. And then I saw him knocking down one Cuman after another. I never saw him fight like that. But then the leader of Sigismund's raiding party, knights in full armor, saw father and charged at him, cut down my father without a thought. And then he turned on my mother, and he murdered her in cold blood.
You poor boy. May the Lord have mercy on their souls.
I ran to the castle like our neighbours to take cover, but I didn't make it. I had to find another way to save myself. The men on the battlements called down to me to flee to Talmberg and warn you. I was lucky I knew a concealed path around the castle. I needed a horse to get to the safety of Talmberg and to warn you all.
And with all that was happening, you thought of others like a good Christian.
And
Aynen aynen. Kesinlikle kaçmadık.
Teresa, the mill wench. She'd been caught by a gang of Cuman savages who planned to violate her.
Aa, yalan söyleyebiliyorum. Ya bir yalana gerek yok.
I wanted to help her. God knows I wanted to. Even though I had the sword we made for Saradzic, they had me outnumbered and they were well armed too. I only just managed to grab one of their horses and ride off. I couldn't help her any more than I could have helped my parents.
It wasn't your fault.
I'll never forget the horror.
Bizim karakter kesin buglandı bu arada.
The rest of my life.
Şimdi düzeldi.
Terrible. How could something like that happen?
God alone knows why he lets such things happen.
You poor boy. I understand your grief, but God is not to blame for the ills of this world. That is the work of Satan and those who do his bidding. Those who are corrupted by greed, envy, and pride. You must not lose faith, whatever life brings. Fate has not been merciful to me.
Ulan
My
kocasıymış.
husband either. Although in comparison to the horror
Ama genç duruyor kadın.
I was young when I married my husband. It was my father's wish.
Evet, anlatıyor
He was
zaten.
a lot older than I, but a woman must bear her lot. Shortly after our marriage, before I even got a look at Talmberg, the castle was stormed and my husband was imprisoned.
Really?
Vay anasını.
My husband had some quarrel with Sir Havel Medek of Valdek, who decided to resolve it by force. He stormed the castle, burned down the village of Pribyslavitz, and killed many of our men, even the old chamberlain. He imprisoned my husband in the castle and put his own garrison there.
Nasıl geri aldınız sonra?
That's awful.
I was barely 18 years old, and all of a sudden, I was left alone with Sir Robert. We didn't know what to do. We went to Prague to appeal to the king and sought help from divicious friends, but all to no avail. We tried for years, but it seemed I was destined to be left alone and my husband to rot in jail in his own castle.
Years, you say?
7 years.
7 yıl mı?
That's how long it took before Havel was condemned as an enemy of the crown. And even then, he refused to surrender the castle and release my husband. In the end, I raised the money to pay a ransom, and only then, by the grace of Lord Jesus,
7 yıl adamı
did I
tutsak vay
finally
anasını.
lay eyes on my husband once more.
7 years. And was Havel punished for it?
Never. And after 7 years, my husband returned to me an infirm old man.
Sir Divish seems like a good, strong man.
Certainly, only he has many concerns. He had to rebuild Talmberg. After he was released, the king appointed him Burgrave of Prague Castle, and he was very busy. He had no time for me at all. But at least we were in the city. There was something going on. And now, we're here.
My lady, you're still young and beautiful. Your best years are still ahead of you.
Would that were true, lad. Would it were true.
Adamın
What am I
ruhu
doing
yaşlanmış.
bothering you with this? You have troubles enough of your own. I'll go and let you sleep.
O kalabilir de onu yerdik ya.
I enjoyed our little talk, Henry. Good night, and God bless.
Good night,
Allah'a
my
emanettir o.
lady.
Valla tavuğu götürmeseydin iyiydi abla ya.
I could do.
Ne oluyor lan? Aha, kabus görüyoruz. Vallahi kabus görüyoruz.
Help us, son. Don't be a coward.
Böyle olmadı ama işte kabus.
Henry, wake up. You don't want to miss this.
What is it? What's happening?
Ne oldu lan?
Come to the battlements. One of our patrols reported a company heading here from Skalitz.
Skalis'ten buraya gelen grup. Aa, kaledekiler mi geliyor lan acaba buraya? Olabilir ha. Geçit merdivenlerinden siperlere git. Git. Ben aç mıyım tok muyum şu an, bak bir işaret var ama. Dur, oturma kalk kalk. Yanlış oldu. Yanlış tuşa bastım. Beni bir sal. Beni bir sal. I'dan şu işaretin ne anlama geldiğine bakmak istiyorum hızlı bir şekilde. Görev değil de külliyatta mıydı o? Yerler, o topluluk, karakter, öğreticiler olabilir mi? Alkol, sarhoşluk. Bu değil. Kilit açma. Karakter yeteneği değil. Simya, teçhizat. Kontroller. Yaralar, şifa. Yok, bu da değil. Neyse ya. Karakter ya aç ya da tok, bilmiyorum. Lan kapı nerede ha? Dayı yağmur yağıyor ya. Allah. Nereden çıkılıyordu lan? Şuradan da herhalde. Aynen. Ah, annemiz de yok ki yaramızı sarsın. Ne oluyor lan? Yüzbaşı Robert'la konuşalım. Nerede? Karanlıktan bir şey de gözükmüyor ki. Divish burada. Robert da aha şurada. Bir şeyler anlatıyor Divish adamlara. Ne oluyor lan?
What's going on?
I don't know. It doesn't make sense. Why would Sigismund advance on Talmberg in the night? Especially since he's lost the element of surprise after the raid on Skalitz.
Maybe it's not him.
Then who is it?
Ha, kimin geldiğini bilmiyoruz.
Gibbs sent to Skalitz to spy on Sigismund. Said he'd set up camp and was getting ready to storm the castle. And so Radzig is an experienced soldier. He'd surely hold the castle for quite some
Bence o kaledekiler geliyor ha.
Makes sense.
What else did the spies see?
Not much of anything. Before they could get close enough, this huge storm started. And you were right. Sigismund has a hell of a lot of soldiers, including all manner of mercenaries. An army like that costs a fortune. Well, anyway, we'll find out when they get here, won't we?
Aye, we will.
Ha, geldiler galiba. Kim o? Ha, köylüler falan var oğlum işte.
Who goes there?
Aha işte Sir Radzig.
Who else, Robber? Sir Radzig. What a relief.
Is his lordship there with you?
Yes, sir. He is right here.
What are you doing up so late, Divish? At your age, you need a good night's sleep.
Well, Radzik, you didn't exactly pick the best time for an outing either. In a big hurry?
It was a bit of a scramble, all right. Believe it or not, this tempest is a godsend for me and my men. As my old granddad used to say, better a sore throat than a slit throat.
I'd say your grandfather was a wise man. Your messenger told us what happened.
Messenger?
The lad you sent to warn us.
He's alive? He made it to you?
He's here with me.
Ha,
He
bizden
only
bahsediyor.
got away by the skin of his teeth, though.
God.
A brave young man. But tell me, friend, how on earth did you manage to get away?
Thank God for this tempest. When it began, Sigismund's Tatars crawled into their holes and left us storming the castle for more clement weather. We were able to sneak out right under their noses. The Lord be praised. We wouldn't have stood a chance against them.
Would you like to spend the night in Talmberg?
No, no. When Sigismund finds the castle empty tomorrow, he might come looking for us. We'd only be exposing you to danger. Without me and my men, he has no call to attack you.
What will you do then?
We'll march to Ratai. It's only a short way, and there we'll have a better chance of defense and enough room for all of these people. If Sigismund should come, better bend your knee, Divish. There's no point dying in a battle that's futile.
You're right there.
Is that boy still with you?
Evet.
I'm here, sir.
Akıllıcı verelim lan.
Courage, lad. That I can't deny. I am sorry about what happened. Would you care to join us?
I'd like to, sir, but first I have to return to Skalitz.
Are you mad? What do you want there?
I can't
Niye?
leave my mother and father.
Aa, işte dedim ya gömelim
Won't
diye.
leave their corpses rotting in the street. I'll join you once I've taken care of them.
Don't even think of going back there, you donkey. Are you tired of living?
But sir!
Quiet! I'm sorry about your father, but getting killed as well won't help him. Divish, make sure that lad doesn't budge from Talmberg until things quieten down.
Not to worry, friend. Anyway, he's injured and needs to recover. I'll lock him up here as if he were Havel of Baldic.
I've seen you've grown a thick skin since your tribulation, sir. But thank you. We'll meet again when circumstances are more favorable. Farewell.
Farewell, friend, and good fortune. Give my regards to Sir Hanush.
I will. And good luck to you and your people too. These are dark times. Move out! Anywhere, people! Move out!
Şorracık vallahi iyi adam. Yani niyeyse böyle bir kıllanıyorum adamdan ama. İyi gibi. Ne oldu şimdi?
Tonight we'll have triple patrols. Sort out the watches between you as always. And if I catch anyone boozing, playing dice or slacking off, I'll personally break every bone in his body. I want you to keep a close eye on everything nearby.
Dayı seninle konuşacağım. Sen sonra anlatırsın. Bir yardım harbiden bize de bir zırh mır bir şey verseniz.
I could use an extra pair of eyes, and yours are keen. Will you keep watch of the battlements with my men?
Is that a request or an order?
I'd rather it was a request you answered yes to.
Of course I'll help. I have to pay you back somehow after all you've done for me.
Splendid. And don't worry. I'll tell the men to relieve you later. May the Lord watch over you.
Ne yapıyoruz şimdi? Nöbet mi tutacağız? Siperlerde nöbet tut. Peki sabit bir yerde durmam gerekiyor mu böyle? İlla bir yerden bakmam gerekiyor mu? Siperler genel olarak galiba anladığım kadarıyla. Yani herhangi bir yerden bakmak zorunda değil. Tur da atabilirim siperlerin etrafını. Dur, şurası az daha yüksek gibi. Şuradan mı baksam diyecektim. Burada adam varmış. Burada tutacağım herhalde ben nöbeti. Burada başka biri yok. Şuradan bakayım şöyle ya. Güya 10 saat uyuyacaktık. Bak yağmurun altında. Lan bir zırh bir şey verseydiniz. Bir Sir Radzik'in kılıcı var bende. Başka bir şey yok.
Wandering around like a stray sheep must be your first watch, eh? I don't think anything much will be happening today. You can just lean against the wall and wait till morning. I'll show you what's what.
I will. Thank you.
Eyvallah. Ne oldu? Yatmaya mı gidiyoruz tekrar? Ha, bir şey yapmak, beklemek zorunda olursan sabaha kadar ilerlet diyor. T tuşuna bastım. Ha, bekleyeceğiz. Baba saat 7'ye kadar bir 4 saat bekleyeyim ben o zaman. Karakter açmış bu arada bak. Besin düşüyor. Tamam baba. Şöyle bir 4 saat bekleyelim bakalım ne olacak. Ne oldu lan? Borazan? Aha sıçtık. Kesin saldırmaya geliyorlar. Ne oluyor şu an? Sabaha kadar bekledik. Herkes bir... Ne oluyor lan? Dış kaledeki siperlere... Lan karakter takıldı. Hah. Koş koş koş. Gel gel yapıyor ya bir de adam. Dayı bana da zırh verseydiniz ben de... Şu adamı takip edeyim bakayım. Nereye gideceğimi de bilmiyorum ki. Ne oluyor lan? Köylüler falan toplanmış. Ananı avradını. Sıçtık galiba.
See how the self-appointed king wins the love and respect of his loyal subjects.
Indeed, Robard. Sigismund of Luxembourg has a rare talent for winning people over to his cause. We may be in for a surprise, though. I don't think he will set his heathen dogs on us today.
Adam yaşlı görmüş. Aha! Lan push! Lan şunun kafasına bir yay verin bana. Şuna bir oku bir saplayayım.
I am Sir Markwart von Aulitz. I come in the name of Sigismund of Luxembourg, King of Hungary and Croatia, who has resolved to strike against those who disrupt concord in the land and to restore order in the name of his brother, King Wenceslaus IV.
Restore order by burning and pillaging the king's estates.
Greetings, Sir Markwart. The efforts of the king's brother to bring order to this chaotic land are undoubtedly noble. It seems to me, though, that he and his army have somewhat strayed. As Burgrave of Prague Castle, I am entirely beholden to the king, and here in Talmberg divine peace reigned until your arrival. To what then do we owe the honor of your visit?
Yesterday, His Majesty took action against the enemy of the kingdom, Sir Ratsig Kobila, who has been using the silver from the Skalitz mine to fund insurrection against
Bak
the
işte. Ben dedim o push ya.
Fortunately,
İyi gibi duruyordu adam.
escaped. Would you happen to know, noble sir, where he might be at this time?
As far as I know, the Sir Radzik of which you speak is the king's hetman at Skalitz. I find it hard to imagine that he would rebel against our king. Nevertheless, I can assure you that Sir Radzik is not at Talmberg. He would be a fool indeed to flee from one castle, where he has little chance of defense, to another, where he has even less. Or do you take the view that my humble manner is any obstacle to your army?
Adamın çenesi iyi laf yapıyor ha.
Am I to inform the king then that Sir Ratsig Kobila is not at Talmberg and that he has your loyalty?
Sir Radzik Kobila is not here, and I have no intentions of getting embroiled in affairs from which I have nothing to gain.
Very well, sir. As you wish. I will relay your words to the king in the hope he will be as well disposed as you seem to be.
Those who have clean consciences and goodwill may find themselves well disposed even at moments like this, when there is little cause for joy. Farewell, sir.
Auf Wiedersehen.
Almanca konuştu adam. İyi günler dedi. Az bir şey biliyoruz Almanca. Yalnız adam var ya, iyi laf yaptı, çenesiyle bizi kurtaracak galiba ya. Ananı avradını. Ha tamam. Bir an saldırı emri verecek sandım. İyi iyi, götü kurtardık galiba ya.
My lord, you have my utmost admiration.
Get on with you, Robard.
Allah aşkına bana bir zırh verin ya. Çapulcu gibi geziyoruz. Oğlum o kel kafa var ya, bu kel kafa. Bak Puşt hala bakıyor. Şunun kafaya bir yay verin bana. Şunu çıt diye bir saplayıvereyim ya. Gevşeye bak ya. Ne oluyor şu an? Buyurun buyurun geçin. Sir Robert'la konuş. Bir at bul. Skalitz'e sevdiklerini göm. Tamam önce Sir Robert... Ne yapıyorsun birader? Sir Robert'la konuş. Beni bir sal. Beni bir sal. Sir Robert gidiyor. Sir Robert.
Good health to you.
Konuşacağım. Neyle hakkında konuşacağım? Ha, Skalitz'e gitmek için. Bizi burada tutuyor ya bunlar. Salmıyorlar. İzin istememiz lazım. Ya da diğer soruları da sorabiliyoruz. Sıradan hepsini soralım.
Sigismund burned down Skalitz and then come here too.
That's war for you, lad. Certain lords have resolved to take things into their own hands and eliminate anyone who doesn't share their view. Unfortunately, Sir Ratsig is one of those. And what's more, he was sitting on a pile of silver that could help King Wenceslas's allies.
Anladım. Peki ne istiyor bu adam? Sir Radzik Push şeyleri çalmış.
And in Kuttenberg.
Gutenberg, well, I'm just a simple soldier, but the good Lord gave me ears, and I've heard some things from Sir Divish and from those who fled from Sigismund's pillaging.
Were there many?
Indeed, but it was the Kuttenberg mercenaries who came to see me, because I knew them from before.
I see.
Listen, lad, these are all games of the high aristocracy. In Prague, a cabal of nobles rebelled against King Wenceslas, wealthy aristocrats who took against our king for reasons of their own. There's no doubt Sigismund had his fingers in the whole affair. Him and Wenceslas's cousin Jobst. And that cabal helped him abduct the king.
So then why did Sigismund attack Kuttenberg?
Why do you think?
Bence neden? Ne bileyim ben dayı ya. Stratejik bir konum için şey yapacağını zannetmiyorum ben. İsyan eden lordlar korkutmak için belki.
The lords there could have risen against him with their armies and stopped his conquest of the Bohemian territories.
That's part of it. King Charles, may God grant him eternal glory, built Prague into a proper royal city, while King Wenceslas took a liking to Kuttenberg. After Prague, it's the most important city in Bohemia, in the entire Holy Roman Empire. He who commands the Kuttenberg silver is king.
So Kuttenberg sided with Wenceslas because he favored it.
Now you're starting to understand. When Sigismund imprisoned Wenceslas and took control of Prague, the people of Kuttenberg began to raise an army against him. So with the attack on Kuttenberg, Sigismund killed two birds with one stone. He defeated Wenceslas's most powerful allies before they could stand against him, and also gained immense wealth.
Vay be. Kumanlar şu bak o kel kafalı puşt.
Where did these humans come from anyway?
I don't know much about them, only what the Chamberlain said. That they came to Hungary from the east and settled there. They're godless barbarians and merciless fighters. The nobles used to say the Hungarian king shouldn't enlist them, because they dishonor our rules of warfare. But when there's power and money to be had, it seems that honor isn't worth my spit. And believe me, it's always about power and money.
Vay be. Hocam bu kadar konuştuk. Bir de araya şunu bir sıkıştırsak.
What would you do there, lad? Sigismund might have left, but the place will be swamped with robber barons, brigands, deserters and other vermin. And anyway, your lord commanded you to stay here.
Dayı. Bunu söylersem bir tane vurur kafama. Benim yerimde olsan sen ne yapardın dersem. Bu adam bayağı görmüş geçirmiş asker zaten. Bu da yemez. Ben şu ailemi gömmem gerek. Bunu bir söyle. Başarısız diyor ya. Peki dayı. Öyle olsun. Ben bu kaleden kaçarım ki. Ya beni kim durduracak ya? Şu duvardan atlasam ne yapabilirsin mesela? Örnek. At bulup Sördiviş. Deli etme kendini. Sördiviş'ten izin alsam Robert'ı boş ver ama asıl eleman bu değil mi? Adamla konuşamıyorum ki. Dur baba milletin tarlasında şey yapmayalım. Ben nereye atladım ya? Şuradan surun üstünden devam edeyim. Ya da şöyle yapalım. Bu bölümümüzün burada sonuna gelelim. İzlediğiniz için teşekkürler. Like atıp abone olmayı unutmayın. Kendinize iyi bakın. Hoşça kalın.